Are you dealing with somebody that you think might be a narcissist? If you are, then you are probably insulted on a daily, sometimes minute by minute basis. In this video, I'm going to walk through some of the insults that you probably hear on a constant basis so that you will be prepared and can shoot them down. Hey there, I'm Rebecca Zung, and I am a lawyer. I'm also a narcissist negotiation expert. In these videos, I help you break free from toxic relationships. I give you all the information that you need for free because I am on a mission. I have helped so many people through this process, and it is so painful, and it is so horrible, and it is so toxic that I want to put the power back in your hands for a change. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell. I upload brand new videos every single day. And in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the insults that you hear in a narcissistic relationship. And I also have a free download for you. It's comebacks for you. So it's also something that you can use to help you craft emails, craft text messages. If you're trying to communicate with a narcissist, it's all kinds of phrases for you to disarm the narcissist. And you just go to disarmthenarc.com. Phrases for you to disarm the narcissist. So go to disarmthenarc.com and grab those phrases. And in this video, I'm going to give you all the insults that you hear, the most common ones, and then go to disarmthenarc.com so that you can make sure to know how to respond to them in a powerful way. Okay. The first one is you're never good enough. You're never good enough. Now, a lot of times what they're doing is they're trying to gaslight you, and gaslighting is a way to make you think that you're crazy. Remember, they did not attach themselves to you because you had so little value. They attached themselves to you because you had so much. This is the crazy making that they do right from the beginning when they started love bombing you, and they made you think that you were the most special, most incredible human being that they ever met. Then all of a sudden they started devaluing you, right? How did they do that? They started saying things like, you're never good enough, or they made you just feel that way, like you're never good enough. And this is, by the way, even in a business relationship. I was in a business relationship, a business partnership with a narcissist. This person did the same thing to me. They attached themselves to me. They hitched their wagon to me, made me feel like, we were going to be such great partners together. And then all of a sudden, these little jibs, these little jabs, and they do it very, very carefully, very, very stealthily, especially if they're covert narcissists. The coverts are the best at this, by the way. They find some under the radar way of doing it. At the beginning, you can be the best spouse, the best employee, the best friend, whatever. And then they find some way to tear you down. And it's crazy because they can find some way of like wanting to spend 7 hours on the phone with you one week, and then the next week act like you're the most needy person on the planet. What do I want to spend time with you on the phone for? Or have you doing all of their paperwork at the office and then act like you don't know anything about what you're talking about. You're horrible at doing books or whatever. But why are they having you do all the books? You know what I'm saying? But that's the kind of thing that they do. This is in order to keep you feeling insecure, in order to keep them having some sense of control over you, and to boost their own ego because they are so deeply insecure. So think about that the next time that they're trying to make you feel like you are not good enough, They don't even sometimes come right out and say you're not good enough. They just make you feel that way. But no one can make you feel that way without your permission. So don't allow it. That's number one. Number two is you're always to blame. So they're constantly trying to blame you for their shortcomings. Something happens at work, it's your fault. They're angry at the world, it's your fault. They've got this deep hatred inside. They're trying to blame it on you. They've got this deep anger inside. It's all your fault. Everything is your fault. They're having problems with their ex. It's your fault. They're having problems with their kids. It's your fault. Anything that goes wrong in the world or in their world, it's always your fault, or it's someone else's fault. Something happens where they didn't do something that they were supposed to do. It is always some other person's problem. I had a paralegal who used to work for me, and it was always somebody else's something, something, something that was going on. Somebody didn't get the work to them in time. Somebody made a mistake on the paperwork, before it got to them. There was always some other issue. There was too much air conditioning, not enough, the heat, the cold. Somebody didn't come in when they were supposed to. They just couldn't take responsibility for their own actions. Somebody was sick, their kids were sick. I mean, it was constant, literally constant. This is what they do. They project, they deflect, they lie, they deny. They cannot take responsibility for their own actions. And when you're dealing with somebody who cannot take responsibility for their own actions, it's always going to be either your fault or somebody else's fault. And you're just a person who happens to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And you're in the middle of that conflict and you don't want to be there. Okay. You're always going to be to blame. All right. So that's the second insult that you're always going to hear if you happen to be in a narcissistic relationship. Number three, you're not worthy of love or respect. Now, let me tell you something. The way people treat other people is a direct reflection of the way they feel about themselves. Good or bad. If people feel good about themselves, they treat other people well. Think about that. People who feel good about themselves inside don't go around treating people like trash. Other people like trash. You don't see the Dalai Lama treating people like trash, right? No, you don't. People who feel good about themselves treat people well. People who don't feel good about themselves treat people poorly. It's a fact. The reason why narcissists treat people poorly is because they don't feel good about themselves inside. So therefore, you cannot take that personally. They're going to tell you on a regular basis that you're not good enough, that that you don't deserve love or respect. And they may not come right out and say it in those words, or maybe they do, but maybe they don't. But they do this to make you feel inferior, because they feel inferior, because they hate themselves, regardless of what they say. It's not true. All human beings are worthy of love and respect. All human beings are worthy of love and respect. Period. Next, they will say out and out things like, you're stupid, you're crazy, you're insane, you're idiotic, you're delusional. You get the idea. They're going to say things that are absolutely an actual insult. Let me tell you something. The use of derogatory words, actual insults, is never okay. And that's when you're going to step in. And by the way, again, go to disarmthenarc.com, grab my key phrases for disarming narcissists, get that sheet, because you're going to step in and you're going to say, I am going to ask that you speak to me respectfully. If you can't speak to me respectfully, then we'll resume this conversation when you can. Because there are certain things that are negotiable, like issues and a contract, terms of a contract. Those things are negotiable. There are certain things that are not negotiable. You know what's not negotiable? Your self-respect. And you have a right to be spoken to in a way that's respectful. And that's never up for conversation. Ever. And I would say you have to do the same, and they're going to bait you and try to pull you in and reel you in and try to get you to be baited into being pulled into that quicksand of hell, doing the same thing that they're doing. I would say don't do it. Don't start calling them names too, or screaming or yelling or whatever. As long as you remain calm and respectful, ask them to do the same. If they don't, just calmly state that you can resume the conversation with them when they are calm and respectful. And that's it. If they are not willing to respect that boundary, you can say, we can have this conversation when you are willing. We can resume this conversation when you're willing to speak to me in a manner that's respectful. They're not allowed to try to make you question your intelligence, your sanity, how you feel about yourself. They're not allowed to try to hurt you, make you undermine, try to undermine your confidence, and just don't believe them, because it's not true. And in that same vein, if they say things like you're worthless, you're useless, you're pathetic, those are the same types of adjectives, we'll say, that are not allowed to be used. And again, you can just simply say those are not true, and we will not have a conversation as long as you are going to use those types of words. Next, they will say things like, no one else will love you like I do, or no one else does love you like I do, or no one else could ever love you because you're not lovable, or I'm the only one who loves you, or you're lucky that I love you the way that I do. They try to convince you in some way that maybe you're not lovable because, like your family doesn't even love you, and look at you. They try to make you feel insecure and undermine your confidence in yourself by making you feel like if you go anywhere else, you're never going to get anyone else to love you. So you might as well take the scraps that you're being given by this person who's basically abusive to you, because if you go anywhere else, you ain't going to get any love anywhere else. That is, again, so not true. So don't fall for it. And the next one is gaslighting thing, which is you're too sensitive, things like that. What they try to do is take your feelings and erase them. So they invalidate how you're feeling. So why would you feel that way? Oh, I was just making a joke. Oh, I can't believe you're taking it like that. Or that's not what you're seeing. You shouldn't believe that. You're overreacting. Things like that. We'll just take all of those and put them into one, which is you're too sensitive. Anytime you express an emotion such as anger or sadness or fear, or any kind of an emotion where you're feeling like that narcissist is making you feel not good, and you try to express that to the narcissist, they're going to go after you. They're going to feel massively defensive, and they're going to go after you because they take it as an attack. So they're going to do whatever they can to invalidate that and go after you. And it's a way of gaslighting you. It's a way of trying to make you question your feelings and your experiences and your emotions, and try to punish you for even ever trying to bring it up. Try to make sure that you never try to bring it up ever again. Try to make it so bad for you for ever trying to bring up any kind of emotion with them that you never want to ever do it again, because they don't want you to question them, and they certainly don't want to ever have to satisfy your needs. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's don't question them, and it's don't ask for anything from them. And that's why they do it. You're too sensitive, things like that. That's why they do that. That's why you're being insulted. It has nothing to do with you. It always has to do with them. The next one is you are not good enough. Anything that has to do with you're not good enough, which, is kind of like where we started on this thing. No one else would want to be with. Everyone else thinks, we're going to just kind of wrap up with the everyone else thinks, the everyone else thinks, the everyone else thinks, and the no one else thinks kind of all go together, which we kind of already covered the no one else thinks. Let's just go with the everyone else thinks. Everyone else thinks goes along with the no one else thinks. And the everyone else thinks is, again, made to make you feel like they've got this massive army out there, this invisible army of flying monkeys that are against you and lining up with them to make you feel like you are alone and isolated. The thing that they're afraid of the most is being exposed. That's really where your leverage lies, by the way. And so when I teach people how to negotiate, that's the first place that we go, is how to create strategy around how to find what is going to potentially where they don't want to be exposed, because that's the thing that is nearest and dearest to their heart. Because when they say everyone else thinks, they want you to believe that they've got this pretend army out there of people against you and for them. And maybe they have, one or two people out there with them, but it's not nearly what you think it is. But they want you to believe that. The first thing I'm going to say to you is stop believing their lies. Just say no more. No more believing their lies. And I want you to put that in the comments right now. No more believing their lies, because their insults against you, it's just a bunch of crap. It's all lies. It has nothing to do with who you are. It has everything to do with who they are. So put no more in the comments right now. The thing you need to know is that you need to have your own form of support. So if you don't have your own form of support, make sure you join my free private Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung, and make sure that you have your own form of therapy, which if you don't have your own form of therapy, you can go to betterhelp.com/Rebecca Zung, because we do have a sponsor here on our channel, and it's on online therapy. We are sponsored by them, which means they pay us a commission. Doesn't cost you any extra. We just want you to have access to resources that we trust. Remember that today's a great day to start negotiating your best life. They only win if you give in. Okay. So the insults you hear in a narcissistic relationship, a bunch of lies, has nothing to do with you, everything to do with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the next video to watch, which is 5 kick-ass comebacks to narcissistic texts. Great video to watch next. So go watch that video next. Subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, and then go watch that video next. So I'll see you in that next video.